I'm live. Welcome, August 2023 live stream. We're going to do great recommendations. We're going to look at all kinds of stuff. I have missed this live stream for a couple months. I've been doing other things, been on vacation, or actually just been lazy. But I have been doing new movie reviews, several of them in the last week, so go check those out. But it's great to be back. So ask your questions in the chat. Always great questions, and we'll mess around today. I believe you should never have to watch a terrible movie or a bad Hollywood movie or a forgettable one. There's 120 years of movies, and we have so much information, so much data, so many reviews that you can at least watch decent movies all the time now. So that's what I'm here for, to help you out. I'm going to show you a couple things. I got to promote the channel. I always have to do this because this is just a hobby. I don't make a lot of money from this. We got a lot of subscribers here, a lot more, but I don't make a lot of money. So here's my Substack. Best way to donate to the channel. And I just write whatever I want there at the moment. Messing around this year, experimenting, trying to figure out what to write about. You see, I put my Turtles review, this new movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I had no idea that the rat in the movie was gay, except it turns out he's not. And he marries a cockroach in the movie, and it was just weird. I got a bunch of stupid comments on my video this week from Turtles fans or people who are paranoid about Hollywood conspiracies that everything's going to be homosexual or in the movies. And now, anyway, you should read this if you want ridiculous stuff. I did even write the day before about Pee Wee Herman because I was struck by Paul Reubens, the actor who played Pee Wee Herman, his death. I have watched one of the formative movies of my youth. Should I admit that? Not Big Top Pee-wee. That was the second one. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. The first Tim Burton feature. Watched that 15, 20 times as a kid. But I have not seen that since the early 1990s. And I tell you why in there. You see if you like what I say or not. But the Substack is me messing around. You've got Letterboxd. I haven't updated my favorite films over here in a long while, and there's a picture of Stranger Than Paradise, but Substack is going well. A lot of people on there, and I write notes on there to myself, sort of half-baked reviews I think are very helpful to some people, certainly to me when I go back and read through what I've watched and try to remember them. So here's Letterboxd, which people can go to. I put the links, by the way, on the chat, so go check those out. And one other thing, I appeared on this YouTube channel, which is also a podcast on Spotify, There Will Be Duds. I like these guys. They just blindly asked if I'd be on their channel, and I looked at them. They're doing the movies. They're talking about movies just for the sake of talking about them. They're having a good time. Three guys who are very knowledgeable about all kinds of things. In fact, they know a lot more than me about all kinds of contemporary cultural stuff. But I appeared on this show, Network. So they did an episode on the movie Network from the mid-1970s. A great satire. I'll have a video on that eventually. It's a long-form video. It's a long-form conversation. It may be for you. Check it out. At the end of this, they actually they drew the movie for the next week, and they drew the movie Dark City from 1998. And when they did, I said, I got to talk about that. I have to go back on their show, so I did. They will have that episode of Dark City coming out, I think, next week, which would be August 9th or something like that. But yeah, check those both. So I'm going to be on their show 2 times at least. But I probably go back on there. I like those guys a lot. And again, they're doing things for the sake of doing them. I don't care how many views or subscribers they have. It's just all about having a good time and sharing information. And if they get 50 people to watch, fantastic. You know, I think that God bless them. But maybe they'll get more. Who knows? So there you go. That's some promotional material for me. New releases coming out. This is a dead zone of new releases. I went to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's right up here. Forgettable. I like the animation, but it's another one of those Turtles movies that, unfortunately, Turtles has never translated well. I can't remember one good Turtles movie for whatever reason. The video games, kind of fun. They're beat 'em ups. There was a new one released in the last year. I played it with my kids. My kids didn't get it, but it was nostalgic for me, so it was kind of a fun thing. But I don't know. There's a whole Turtles lore, though, and people got upset again about Splinter, the rat in there, marrying a cockroach for whatever reason. But yeah, we're kind of in a dead zone. I don't know what to do with these movies. There's always tons of movies. It's unbelievable how many movies are released. There's even more than this internationally. This is just U.S. domestic. I am kind of interested in one movie, and I've seen the trailer at least 6 times. I don't usually watch trailers before movies, but 6 times it's kind of been up on screen before the movie I'm watching in the theater. Gran Turismo, obviously a video game callback. The director, though, is Neil Blomkamp. You guys know what he did? One of my favorite science fiction movies ever, District 9. I think that was his first feature, South African director. He also did Chappie, which I kind of like, a couple of others. He directs this movie, and it's about a guy who plays Gran Turismo and then is going into Formula One or some kind of racing or real-life racing arena. It's kind of like a Last Starfighter concept. Can a video game player, being great at video games, does it translate into reality? And can he become a real-life racer because he's awesome at video games, driving games? I think that's an interesting concept. I still like that, so I might go see that movie. But other than that, I'm not sure what these movies are. Oh, there it is. It's actually August 25th it expands. Blue Beetle? I have no idea what the superhero stuff is. I'm sorry, I don't know the lore. You guys should let me know about it. But we have a long slog till maybe something in September where there's something rather... No, it's going to be October. I'm not going to get interested in much till October. So that's a lot of good time to watch older movies, catch up on things I don't know about, and rewatch things. By the way, good questions already over here in the chat. I'm going to check those out in just a little bit. So what I do in this live stream, I listen to you guys, look at stuff. Here, Criterion. Now I'm feeling a little mixed about Criterion because, as you know, some of you know, I did a video. I wish it was my biggest video ever, which I don't love because it was negative, and I don't love doing negative videos, but on Criterion having the French Connection. And when I discovered, because of other people discovering it, the French Connection has an edited scene in it, and it's showing on Criterion. A little upset about that. In fact, I was trying to study the French Connection and make a video on it. I watched the version on Criterion Channel, and I missed this whole scene. And I don't like that they're using movies from Disney or other people. You know, they're pulling from their servers, and Disney has somehow edited the French Connection with it, censoring it without telling us. Anyway, I did a whole video on that. It got big, a lot of subscribers. It was interesting, but I'm still interested in Criterion. I think if you have their stuff, their discs, they're still fantastic. And so I am going to use the channel until it just annoys me to death. If it does more of that kind of thing, I always look at this. I always look at this, but the popular collections, newly added, you can see that on the left side. And I'm going to look at what's leaving the channel in just a little bit because that's where I can pull recommendations from. But I did check out. Now they always do this. They always have a genre collection that I gotta watch it. I mean, whether it's horror, fantasy, mystery, noir. They got two of them here: British noir and AI. They have movies on AI. How could I possibly resist? Although I've seen almost all of those. I noticed a couple subscribers watching the Elvis one as well, which I'm not going to dive into that. Oh, man. Are any of those Elvis movies good in that collection? I don't know. The AI collection, though, is fascinating to me. I love these movies. I got to say one more time, I've said it probably 100 times on this channel, the movie Demon Seed is an underrated science fiction movie. It's either going to be hilarious to you or scary. It's about an AI system in a home that basically holds a woman hostage. And I can't remember if she's pregnant or not at the moment, but pregnancy comes up in the movie. A whole system, it's like an Amazon home where Amazon controls everything. Only this AI in the home goes nuts and holds her hostage. It's a 1977 movie, and I actually thought it was pretty good when I watched it a couple years ago on Criterion Channel. So you may hate it, check it out. But the ones I can unabashedly recommend, certainly Her, but that's not here anymore. So they had Spike Jonze's Her, one of my favorite movies ever. I think they pulled it from the channel for whatever reason. It probably went away at the beginning of August. AI is worth trying because it was a Kubrick movie, but Spielberg directed it. And so you might enjoy that. And then Kogonada, a lot of critics love him. I didn't love this movie After Yang. There's a review of it on my channel. I thought it was okay. Great visuals. And I was very intrigued by Johnny Mnemonic. A pretty bad movie, I think, from the mid-1990s. Keanu Reeves before The Matrix, and at this point in time in the early mid-90s, we just made fun of his acting. We thought it was terrible. But the black and white version of Johnny Mnemonic, there is strong proof that black and white can improve a movie. And actually, it looks pretty good in black and white. Some great shots in that. So all in all, this isn't a bad collection. I love science fiction, as some of you know. So there's that, but I'm going to look at the oh, where's it at? Here it is. Leaving August 31st. It helps me narrow down my choices, because maybe I won't see these movies on streaming again. Maybe they'll be hard to find. And there's AI sitting there. But boy, there's some good ones here. You guys know I did a video on Thief, a Michael Mann movie. His first movie, one of my favorites, a great movie. It combines like a 70s humanistic, really rich movie cinema experience with sort of 80s visuals and 80s Michael Mannish stuff that he would do later on. So it's a really good movie. Mean Streets by Scorsese is an excellent early Scorsese movie. I've never done a video of that on my channel. I've planned to. In fact, it's been sitting in, well, you can't see it. Let me show you. Oh, there we go. There's my stack of movies as a background. But Mean Streets has been sitting up in here. There it is. For a long, long time. I've meant to get to it. I just haven't. And then, well, there's a lot of good boomer movies here. Love them or hate them. I don't love The Graduate, but a lot of people do. Billy Wilder's A Seventh Year Itch. Yeah. I had not looked at these. Oh, there we go. I had not seen this movie before. I watched it this summer. Sidney Lumet, I just mentioned his movie Network. The year before, I think 1 year before, did Dog Day Afternoon. Of course, this is an absolute classic. A lot of people love it. But I never seen it. And you never know when you're watching a movie other people love. Al Pacino, maybe it's just his performance they love. I was rocked by this movie. I thought this movie was absolutely fantastic. In fact, it vaulted into my pantheon of movies that I love and I want to try to teach, because I think I can use it in a like intro to film class, and it will work pretty well. I don't know that the students will love it. I can't tell. Never can until I try. But this one, absolutely. It's really got some fantastic topical issues in it. They're still relevant. One of the greatest phone calls in movie history ever in this movie. I didn't know that. I went into it blindly, not knowing what it was about. So I unabashedly recommend Dog Day Afternoon if you've never seen it. If you're young, try it out and see, because one, it's great. Like Al Pacino, a bunch of people in it. Great performances. But the directing is fantastic. Scenario. I love it that it's a hostage movie. The criminals are just kind of stupid. I mean, things go wrong because they're stupid. And that's not typical in movies. Usually criminals are masterminds, and the cops who chase them are super masterminds because they get them in the end. But here, nope, everyone's kind of a bumbling idiot in a way. Safe by Todd Haynes. Have I talked about that in a while? Oh, I have a video on that movie. I love it. There's some contemporary topical issues that I think are relevant. People getting sick but not being sure if they're sick or not, or how they got sick. Even the medical establishment thinking, hey, they're not sick, it's all in their head. This is a, psychosomatic, thing. I just think it's a great movie all around, because you can't tell if the woman in Gillian... No, wait. That's not Gillian Anderson. Oh, that's Julianne Moore, duh. Julianne Moore is the stars in it. She's fantastic, and she gets sick. But you can't tell if it's all in her head, or if it's environmental, or if it's biological, like viral. So it's great. Absolutely great movie, I think. Other than that, yeah, I'm looking at these. The bunch I haven't seen. I would love to see this Elia Kazan movie. I like his stuff. I've never seen Splendor in the Grass. Howard Hawks' Monkey Business. Maybe I'll watch that with my kids. I don't think I've seen that either. So I'm going to hit that add to my list thing. There you go. Man, you just can't stop. And I read the book, Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House, which is this movie, The Haunting, is based on that book. Shirley Jackson wrote the famous and ubiquitously used short story The Lottery, which I think is really good, even though every single high school class ever uses it. She wrote a novel, Haunting of Hill House, in the 50s. And I would like to see that movie. I have not. So, even there's so many movies that have ever been made. I just haven't seen them all. 12 Angry Men, Fisher King, 5 Easy Pieces. Go watch that, people. I did a video on that. You will like it a lot. So, they have a lot of stuff leaving. On the Waterfront. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. So, really, we just gave out 6 or 7 movies here, and most people in a month watch 6 or 7 movies. So there you go. Those are pretty good. That's a pretty good list, and we're not even done. Yeah. Oh no, they got a bunch of Buster Keaton. Who can just resist? Oh, one more movie. If you have kids, try this movie out. Boy in the World. I've been recommending this for years. Many friends like this movie. It's Brazilian. I think it was one of the top box office movies in Brazil when it came out. Wonderful music. It's only 80 minutes long. It's kind of this is not an apt comparison. It's kind of Fantasia-like. You know, the Disney movie Fantasia. But there is a linear storyline. But it has this colorful, very wonderful animation, great music. I remember my kids, after they watched this movie, humming the song, the main theme song, and trying to play it on our piano in our home. So, Boy in the World, it's a really good movie. A really good kids movie. So if you need a kids movie, there you go. Along with these Buster Keatons, I've seen all of these Buster Keatons. Most of them are shorts. With my youngest son, he loves this stuff. The Haunted House is very fun. The Playhouse, Balloon Attic, these are good. One of my favorite Keaton shorts is Cops, though. So there you go. He's got look. The Boat is a good one. So they got a lot of his stuff on there. Try that stuff out. That was a quick 15 minutes. What else should we talk about? Yeah. So anyway, go back. If you didn't watch the beginning of this video, subscribe to my Substack. There you go. Let me check out the comments. Yeah, Joel Duff says when you watch, we watch Boy in the World, right? Joel watched that with his kids. The kids were mixed. I loved it. That's always a question. Like, will your kids like movies that you liked? Is this adult sensibility only? Is this generational difference? And so when the guys on the There Will Be Duds episode or podcast, a YouTube channel pulled out Dark City, I was wondering, will they going to like this movie or not because it's 25 years old? I like it. I'm Gen X. It came out in 1998. But these younger guys, they might not like it. So you never know. You never know. Okay. Well, let's just leave that up. I'll try to get in the frame better. I'm going to answer some questions over here, though. Let's go back up. Let's put on my Letterboxd page. There you go, Letterboxd. With what I've been... Oh, and here's one other movie. Let me... Don't leave just yet. Before you want to leave when I have questions, fine. I don't care. But Godland. I've been trying to watch these movies that came out within the last year. I had to watch this movie. If you know the subject matter, you know kind of why I'm interested in it. The late 19th century, a young Danish priest. This is a Danish movie. It comes out in 2022. Late 19th century, young Danish priest travels to a remote part of Iceland to build a church and photograph its people. But the deeper he goes into the unforgiving landscape, the more he strays. I hate when they give things away. It's a very fascinating movie because it's one of those priest/missionary movies where they go into a haunted, dark, primal landscape. Werner Herzog-like. And will the priest maintain his religious faith, his belief in God, blah, 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 his moral values? Or will he succumb to whatever? Or will primal nature pull him in? But he's going to Iceland, which is partly settled. It's not completely remote. Actually, I'd say the first 45 minutes is this long journey-like thing. And it's Werner Herzogian, a little bit of Tarkovsky in there. As far as the pacing, the kinds of shots, the kind of mood created. So if that's appealing to you, you probably want to watch this movie. I didn't find the plot to be anything new. It did remind me of a bunch of other priest/missionary movies that I've seen. But the shot making in this... The soundscape is really interesting. I had headphones on. It has a very weird... I don't even know the horn that they use. Like a horn playing this mournful Icelandic stuff in it. It sounds Scandinavian to me, but it's maybe Icelandic. So this is a very interesting movie for cinephiles, for people interested in the subject matter. And it's based on a real thing. A Danish priest took like the first 7 photographs of Iceland ever in the 19th century. And then in the movie, you see him, set up his camera and take some pictures. But they're based on the real first 7 pictures of Iceland. So yeah, I mentioned Herzog. It reminded me somewhat of Herzog, a little bit at least. So try that out if that is interesting to you. That is a newer movie that I've seen. All right. Questions. Questions for the professor. Here we go. I'm looking at the chat. Top 3 necessary Ingmar Bergman films. First of all, people, pronunciation police on YouTube, who I don't like, will get mad at me for saying Bergman. Is it Bergman or Bergman? I tell you what, go back to all the critics who appear, like Roger Ebert, Gene Siskel ever. They've mispronounced that name. You're going to hate them too, so don't correct my pronunciation because I get mad about that. Top Bergman films. Top 3 necessary. I just saw that Tarkovsky, I was on Twitter, and it had Tarkovsky's top 10 movies, and it had his handwritten list. And he had Winter Light, Persona, and Wild Strawberries, right? Those were his, he is such a fanatic for Bergman that his last movie was a gigantic homage to Bergman, The Sacrifice, which a movie I think is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I don't know what necessary means. I think if you want to know film history, film influence, film styles, it's probably surely The Seventh Seal and Persona. I don't love Persona personally, but I know that a lot of people get a lot out of it. And it is taught in classes, it's an example in textbooks and so on. So those 2 for sure. And then you can just throw in the third that you want, like Wild Strawberries or Fanny and Alexander. I think in my Bergman video I said Fanny and Alexander, Seventh Seal, but I can't remember the third one. It's probably Wild Strawberries. And I don't see how anybody could not put Seventh Seal in any sort of top 3 Bergman list. It's really fantastic movie. I think it watches better when you watch his movies chronologically, and it just jumps out at you. You watch like his first 10, 12 movies, and then you get to The Seventh Seal. It is a different kind of movie. It's angry. It's aggressive. It feels that way, at least after you've seen all the Bergman movies before it. So what did I say? Seventh Seal, Persona, Fanny and Alexander, Wild Strawberries. I cheated. Those are 4, but I'm probably missing like 3 or 4 I really like. I've got all this stuff on Letterboxd. I made several Bergman videos. So yeah. Have you seen, here's a question, Isaac Cruz, thank you. Have you seen Cat on a Hot Tin Roof? I haven't seen many films pre-80s and only know about it because my local art house theater was playing it. Really? Wonder where you live and where the art house theater is. That's great. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. If you ever had this question, has Matthew seen a movie? I might have written about it, but you know what? I can't actually remember if I did. Did I review this? I know I've seen this movie, but it was a long time ago, so I can't remember it, and I haven't even marked it on Letterboxd. There it is, but I haven't rated it or anything. So, no, I know I've seen a lot of Newman movies. Well, you should go see it. I know it's a famous movie. I know it also got some Academy Awards or nominations. You haven't seen many films pre-80s. Well, I gave you a few already in this. Go watch Dog Day Afternoon and On the Waterfront. There you go. But yeah, if I had a local art house theater near me, which I do not, I would support the heck out of that place. You never know when they're going to go bust. You never know how much money they're making. Probably not much. So I would go there and I would eat a meal or buy something from their concession stand because I want to keep it going. If you guys don't have a giant screen available to you nearby, in your basement or something like that, then the art house theater is your option because almost all of these movies up until the last 5 or 6 years were made for big screen. And you know that Christopher Nolan's still making big screen movies, but I'm going to tell you, I have access to a giant screen. Everything watches differently. Literally everything. It will change your perspective on a movie to see it gigantically, or as it was meant to be filmed or meant to be seen. So I can't more strongly advocate your local art house theater, even if it's junky or something like that. So there you go. Thoughts about two. What does it say? I think you're trying to say my thoughts about 2 YouTubers who made a movie. Is that what you're asking? I don't know what movie you're talking about. YouTubers are making movies like feature-length movies. More power to them. I mean, YouTube and all these other platforms. Now you can make a movie and put it out there and not have to go through all the gatekeepers. I mean, the gatekeeper is the platform. YouTube is a gatekeeper. But other than that, you don't have to go through anything else. So if you can do it, great. And if it's good, people will probably watch it. I'm all for artisanal auteurs, people. This is the moment in human history where you can do anything you want artistically. And that's both terrible and awesome. And the awesome part is you can make a film now and put it out there when before it was impossible for anybody to do this. Impossible. Well, sort of. Mostly, kind of, sort of. But literally impossible. So there you go. Have I seen Compulsion with Orson Welles? I'm blanking on this. Compulsion? I know Welles thoroughly. What is Compulsion with Orson Welles? I think I've got it up, but I may not. Is Orson Welles in this? I've never seen this. This is why I consult with you. You consult with me. I consult with you. I learned so much from this channel. It's called Learning About Movies. The person who learns the most is me. I have not seen this. And so I wonder, do you like it? Let me know if you like this. I don't know. It's gotten okay reviews. You see that Letterboxd ratings there. Not many people have seen it though. So, yeah, I'll check that out. I'll put it on my watch list, so I will look at it later. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I always get this question. What's your favorite Tarkovsky? I did a Tarkovsky video. I think I have it up there on my science fiction list. I put The Sacrifice #1 all time, which is a little crazy, but I believe in it. I think The Sacrifice is a fantastic movie. It does help to know Tarkovsky. I watched his movies chronologically, and when I did that, in the order that he made them, over a period of 1 to 2 weeks. When I did that, The Sacrifice, just like The Seventh Seal with Bergman, really popped. Like, it made total sense. It's an artist looking at his whole life. He knows he's dying. I think he knows he's dying. And he's thinking about the Old Testament. He's thinking about Bergman. He's thinking about science fiction and World War III and nuclear war. It's really great. But it's slow, but it's great. There you go. That's my favorite Tarkovsky. I'm kind of a weirdo because I don't like Stalker for various reasons. You see that in my video about that. I usually get crap about that. But I don't love Stalker. I don't love Solaris. Partly because I like the books they're based on. But all the other Tarkovskys I think are... Mirror. Mirror would be my second choice. Yeah, Kit Katsy, you're right. I heard Criterion censored The French Connection because Disney made them do it. Yeah, I think what ended up happening, I found out this out after I made my video on this, is that Disney owns Fox, which made the movie The French Connection from 1971 or 2. And somebody somewhere in those companies, I don't know if it's Fox or Disney, censored the movie. They took out the N-word at one point, which makes 0 sense because they didn't take out, as you know, any of the violence against black people in that movie. They just took out one word. And it was a good key line of dialogue. There's like several lines of dialogue they took out that were important that they shouldn't have. So somebody did that, then it's on their streaming service, and then Criterion whatever licensed it. And then what you see on Criterion is being pulled from Disney's servers. This is the story I'm told, at least. I think this is right. So Criterion technically didn't censor it, but they are allowing it. And that's my beef with them, is that they shouldn't have movies on there that have been censored, but we don't know about. Criterion, I think it's their mission statement. In their mission statement, they want to preserve or curate movies based on the director's wishes. And I don't think that William Friedkin would have allowed, he's still alive, someone should go ask him, would allow the censoring of The French Connection in the way it's been censored. I think he would have gone crazy. It might kill him if you told him that this happened. So I believe that Criterion at least needs to put a disclaimer on The French Connection and other movies that have been censored by these companies, Disney or whoever, and they at least need to tell us, because it's fraudulent otherwise. And also, they probably just shouldn't even have it on their server. I mean, it's been censored after all, and this is not their thing has always been, oh, we're against censorship and we don't like people who throughout film history who have been the censors, blah blah blah. They've always said that, and they always promote stuff that is like against the censors, like the pre-Hays Code stuff. But here they are bowing to Disney or allowing it. So I don't love that about what they're doing. Yeah, there you go. As far as I know, it's not exactly their fault, but it kind of is. That's my view of this. Excuse me. Um, Barry Anderson. What do you think of whose performance? Oh, I don't know who you're talking about. Um, Sorry, Barry. I'm gonna try to figure out your question here in a second. What are my favorite Criterion releases this year? Yeah, that's a great question because I did go nuts in the last Criterion 50% off sale. I did just release a video on some of the things I bought. Um, and I'm going to type in Criterion releases because I think what's happening with Criterion, a couple of things. Always buy these movies because they go out of print. I just looked for Robert Altman's Nashville in the Criterion release, and it's 95 bucks. I mean, if you go on Amazon, other places, 95 bucks to buy the thing because it's out of print. Nashville, one of the most acclaimed American movies ever. So these things go out of print if you have the money, and this is part of your deal where you collect movies. I think it's good to buy. Their graphic designers tend to be awesome. I do like this After Hours cover a lot. I haven't bought this, but I love this movie. I did a video on it. It's a very fun movie. I haven't seen the renowned, don't know how to pronounce it, Westerns. That appeals to me. One False Move is an excellent movie. It was in a terrible format, and they have updated it and give it the whole treatment. And a very good film, I think. So, what are my favorite releases? Well, these haven't even been released. Well, no, After Hours just released. Okay, these are the ones that have been released recently. I'm still thinking about what's still. They've announced things through October. I'm not going to get this stuff. Okay, I should go to a real website that has the whole list. What are your favorite releases? What do you guys like? From Criterion, I think. I got to find the whole list. What have you liked? Why? Let us know in the comments. It's always good to know. And if you like a movie and never thought about it, then I will check it out. I don't know why this is so difficult to find a list of Criterion. So you guys should make a website that has a very obvious Criterion release list. I know it's somewhere. What the heck? Complete list? Maybe this will have it. Anyway, I bought a lot of movies. Oh, this is going to give it to me, but just in the reverse order. Let's go all the way down. And Criterion is getting into the new release art house fair. So they just, I can't remember the name of the company. It might just be Janus Films, Janus, but they're releasing these new movies. They've just come out and they're sort of art house, film festival kinds of stuff. So there you go. And some of these, like No Bears by Panahi, which I watched. It's a pretty good movie. He's a great director from Iran who's been politically persecuted. Support him, I think. I don't even know his politics. I just think he should be supported. So, yeah. I'm not getting a good list here. Where is the list at? Sorry to scroll so fast. This is taking a while to figure out. I'm not prepared for this question. This is ridiculous. Let's do one more thing. Thanks for bearing with me. This is a great question. I would buy that After Hours disc. Oh, I know what to tell you. So here's what they're coming out with. It's coming out in October. These are the latest releases. Not yet, but almost. Some of these are in 4K. Like Videodrome's already out there, but they're doing a 4K release of that. The Trial. You don't know how long I've been waiting for this. Orson Welles' great movie based on the Franz Kafka novel. I've said this somewhere else on the channel. I've been waiting for this movie because it's been in super low quality. I bought I feel like it was pirated, like a DVD of this thing, because that was the only way to find it several years ago. It looked awful. It's in like 300p. It's terrible. I can't wait to put this on a big screen. I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. And I probably put my top 2 or 3 Wells movies. Most people wouldn't agree with that, but Anthony Perkins stars. Wells is in it, and he's weird as usual. It's great. That's my top, my favorite of all. So there you go. Well, I'm not getting a good list here. That and probably After Hours. There's a long-winded answer to your question. I'm having way too much fun. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Jimmy. Jimmy, long time, I know, long time viewer. Thank you, Jimmy. Really appreciate your favorites. Yeah, you agree with me. What was that Pasolini collection? I thought about buying it and then doing a video, unboxing video on it. I just haven't. Yeah. Barry asks. So Barry is asking me. What? Oh, by the way, Max, I'll get to your Lost Highway question in just a second. One of my favorite Burt Lancaster films. It's a great question because Burt Lancaster is a good, unique actor. I can tell you right now, it's one of those noirs from the early '50s that he did, and I know it's Crisscross is one. I think The Killers is really the one I'm thinking of. It's which is a fantastic noir, like Citizen Kane, like not quite that quality, but pretty darn close. So here I am on his IMDb page. He did a lot of movies. I will not even be able to look at them all. Crisscross, there it is. Where is The Killers at? Brute Force. Oh, The Killers, Brute Force. Brute Force is famous. Man, he was a hard worker. Sweet Smell of Success. I did a video on that. It's a fantastic movie. So those are probably some favorites. Elmer Gantry, based on the novel. Oh, Judgment Nuremberg, Birdman of Alcatraz, The Leopard. Of course he did The Leopard. How can we pick? So a lot of times for these actors, this is a video I want to get to. I want to do like my top actors who chose projects. So I have this belief, I don't know if I'm right, that certain actors are really fantastic at choosing the right projects for themselves, but also like they just know that great artwork is going to come out of them. They know the script, the director, the studio, whatever. Jack Nicholson is in my top 5 with that. Like he, especially in the 70s, he knew what he was doing. Whether it was him making these movies awesome or he just knew the projects or both. So here you go. Like here's one. I'm sitting here waiting to do this movie, rewatch it, do a video on it. But Jack Nicholson is fantastic at choosing projects. I have a feeling if I look through Lancaster, at least up through 1970, he was very similar. Or he was a very good chooser of projects. So there you go. There's some Lancaster suggestions for you. Max, Max, you asked about Lost Highway. I just did a video on it a few weeks ago that'll come out I think in October. So Lost Highway is one of David Lynch's movies, not as acclaimed as his others, but a movie I think, for me, is probably one of my 2 or 3 favorites of Lynch. Partly because it's just a mystery. Probably because it's got this weird 2-part structure, and you got to figure it's like supernatural horror, but it's fundamentally a mystery. What is the moral? Oh, you're asking what is the moral turn in the end? You mentioned in your review. So the end of Lost Highway, which I won't give away, but there's a character who is a figure is both terrifying and a sort of a symbol of the all-powerful surveillance state or the coming surveillance state, but he's also a figure of moral conscience, in my opinion. If you've seen the movie, you may know who that is, but I'm going to tell you in the video when it comes out. So I would try to figure out how these 2 parts of the movie go together. You know, the Bill Pullman part and the younger actor, I can't remember. You know, try to figure out how those might come together, because by the end of the movie, you're supposed to like have some sense of how those things fit. I probably didn't help you that much, but it's a very weird movie in that sense. And by the way, when I say moral turn, Lynch likes to do this. He likes to have a sort of moral conscience, or a sort of the end of I'm not blanking on his movies. The end of the one that has Dennis Hopper in it. Why do I not? I should know this. The end of Blue Velvet, I feel like, has something similar. I feel like Eraserhead, you really know what you should believe in that movie. Maybe I'm making this up, or this is my own interpretation. And The Straight Story, the Elephant Man is like the ultimate. Like, clearly, here's the moral, and I don't find it to be over the top or like didactic or anything. It just, I kind of think Lynch wants to believe in something, and so I feel like his movies, most of them at least try, even though they're weird and sometimes you don't know what's going on in them. I don't know if that helped you or not, but there's a moral. There's a character who is kind of both sinister and could be taken as moral in that movie, and it helps things resolve. Like the bad guy gets his comeuppance at the end, doesn't he? Lost Highway. All right, some great comments. You guys are fantastic. Jimmy, haven't I answered that, Jimmy? What's my favorite Malick movie? Terrence Malick. Well, it's always been The Thin Red Line. That's never changed. So I would expect things to change, but I've always loved that movie. I just connect with it very well. And I have a long video on it that explains why I love and think The Thin Red Line is a fantastic movie. Again, that's another one of those movies, if you haven't seen it on a big screen, it may change the way you watch it entirely. The Blu-ray of all of Malick's Blu-rays actually say, turn the volume up all the way. And when you do that in a theater, giant screen, big speakers, it does change the perception of the encounter with maybe the way you even are supposed to hallucinate about his movies. So I love The Thin Red Line. Yeah. Oh yeah, Max. I hope I helped you. Thank you. Oh, okay. So here's the last. Oh yeah, there's a lot of great questions here. I gotta end sometime, so this is the last question. It's a good way to end. Sorry, guys. I will answer these questions later. Yes, oh, by the way, I have seen the Dr. Mabuse films. I am about ready to do The Testament of Dr. Mabuse by Fritz Lang, which came in between M and Metropolis. Metropolis and M, actually. And I'm going to do a video on that one. As requested by my Discord users, you guys should go to my Discord, where we just chat. That's the best way to access me and ask questions, is on Discord. We have a small, wonderful group of people. Small is like a few dozen who are very active there. So I like it so far on Discord. We're civil, polite. There are no crazy people there because I don't allow that in my Discord. I hate that word Discord, by the way. Why do they need to rename it? Because why do they have it as Discord? That sounds awful. Do have a Discord? The question I have from Millennial Falcor is, do you have a comfort movie for when you need to be cheered up? Okay, Falcor. So I will be personal and admit things here. When I am extremely ill, as in stomach flu, stomach bug, vomiting every 30 minutes. That's TMI, sorry, but you guys know what that's like, most of you. All right? I'm going to not turn on a movie. I'm going to turn on The Office, the TV show, which I've seen many, many times, but that always is the most helpful thing in that scenario for me. Okay? I don't know why. It's a great distraction. It's whatever. So The Office, you know, guys know I do like that show. But as far as comfort movies, on Letterboxd, Mr. Falcor, I have lists, which you feel free to peruse or not. And the lists I keep there, I would not say in my favorite movies. As you can see right there, that would be the answer to your question. I would probably more pull from the movies I recommend to nearly everybody to answer your question. Favorite movies is something else. It's like wonderful, rich, complex, aesthetically awesome, makes me think, philosophical, but they may bother me. They may annoy me. They may not always be my favorite. Like my entertainingly favorites. But my favorite movies are those that are... so I'm looking at this, and not all of these would count. Like, I would not go to The Father if I wanted a comfort movie. But a number of these in this top 15 to 20, easy. Ratatouille, Happy Go Lucky, Matchstick Men, Waiting for Guffman, Seven Chances for sure, Local Hero. I don't know, Local Hero. That's a thoughtful movie. I don't know if it comforts me. I will say the one that always comes up is Ed Wood. I love that movie and would rewatch it. It makes me laugh a lot. So it's probably something that makes me laugh a lot. And, you know, my sense of humor is not yours, etc. Toy Story 2 is an excellent comfort movie. Easy to watch. Bringing Up Baby. Groundhog Day. Just going by this list, and these are movies I would recommend. The way I think about this is to people who don't watch movies. They're not cinephiles. They only watch for entertainment, but they would like something good. So my mother, for example, my friend who is a medieval historian, he's a thoughtful person, but he's not a cinephile, right? Maybe my wife, other people like that who are not like me. So that's the way I think of this list. And a lot of movies on this list I would recommend to those people. I'm in The Princess Bride. I haven't seen that in a long time. So these are suggestions that you can go to. I think Tender Mercies is a good one. Say Anything. But a true comfort movie. What was the last one I turned on that I needed to be comforted by? I don't know. I haven't thought about that for a while. I've been in the mode of making videos and studying stuff. I really haven't watched, and this is kind of sad, I haven't watched a movie to be comfort. Oh, I know. You might laugh. Mission Impossible. My family on vacation, which was about 3 weeks ago now. My kids hadn't seen them, so we watched Mission Impossibles 4 through 6. Okay, that would, if I want something that had some action in it, that would be fine. Oh, let me give you one more. Galaxy Quest. Unbelievable. I love that movie. If you like Star Trek, science fiction, 90s humor, callbacks, all kinds of movies like Aliens. I love Galaxy Quest. David Mamet loves Galaxy Quest. So there you go. But yeah, those are a few. There's several in here, and if they're sort of kind of comedic, easy comfort movies for me. Yeah. So that's why I keep this list. Oh, Cyberpunk says CIA-berpunk. I like that name. It says Trading Places. Oh, that's yeah. But Matchstick Men, Barry's calling that one out. If you've never seen one more recommendation. If you've never seen Matchstick Men, this is a Ridley Scott movie. It doesn't feel like Ridley Scott. Nicolas Cage is in it, and Sam Rockwell. That's it. Mic drop. Nicolas Cage, Sam Rockwell. You're done. You're watching this movie. Don't read anything about it. It's got some good twists in it. It's a fun movie. I identify with the Nicolas Cage character. I'm not that OCD, but my wife says I'm kind of sort of there. So there you go. This is Matchstick Men. It's not an awesome like cinephile movie, but I think it's a good one. Read Roger Ebert's original review or others at the time. People like it, although my friends don't seem to like it. Not everybody. Oh, Evan. Hi, Evan. It says Patterson a Repo Man. Oh. Is Patterson a comfort movie? Man, Patterson makes me think too much. I have to really concentrate. So I think of a comfort movie, something I don't have to like really think about, really focus on, and the words, the poetry in that movie. But those are interesting choices. Yeah, great. One of Cage's great performances. So there you go, Matchstick Men. There you go. I could keep going. I could throw 1,000 more movies at you, but thank you for watching this. Check out the chat, which I've been referring to. You guys are awesome. Fantastic stuff here. The viewers here are better than me. I mean, they're more knowledgeable and they know stuff. So we're here to sort of compile our voices. So go to my Discord, my Substack, and so on. Anyway, it's been a great month. Well, a great time here. I'll see you next month, September. I won't stop doing these. I'll keep doing these. They're fun. Thank you. See you later.